three experiments we learned. Now let us learn about the different topics in this nutrition lesson. Air and photosynthesis. Here we have to learn about the air and photosynthesis. So how the air is important for photosynthesis, let us see. In 1770, Joseph Priestley performed a series of experiments. He performed a series of experiments to prove that the air is essential for growth of organisms. And during his experiments, he discovered the oxygen. But at that time, we didn't know it was oxygen. Later, the Lavoisier gave the name to that gas is oxygen. As oxygen. Who gave the name? Lavoisier coined the name as oxygen. But who discovered the oxygen? Joseph Priestley discovered the oxygen in 1774. But the name was coined by Lavoisier in 1775. Okay, here the Joseph Priestley done so many experiments, a series of experiments he done. He took a bell jar. What he took? He took a transparent bell jar. He placed a lighted candle under the bell jar. He observed a few minutes that experiment, and he observed that the lighted candle was extinguished. That means it was put off. It was put off after few minutes. Then again he lighted the candle and he again kept one rat in it. Then again he observed. Then he observed that soon the lighted candle was extinguished, and as well as the rat was suffocated. Means the rat didn't get air and it was unconscious. Then again he got an idea and he kept a mint plant. Mint potted plant he kept under the bell jar. He took a potted mint plant and he kept under the bell jar. He lighted the candle and again he placed the bell jar on it. Then after few minutes he observed that the lighted candle was glowing and the suffocated mouse wake up and it was moving here and there. And he got an idea that he confirmed that one gas which is produced by mint plant is necessary for the lighted candle, for glowing the candle and for the mouse life. So that's why then he confirmed that one gas is produced by mint plant is necessary for the candle, for lightening, for glowing, and next the rat also it is essential for breathing. So that's why he discovered the oxygen in 1774 and the name was coined by Lavoisier, and in 1775 the Lavoisier is the father of chemistry. Next, like H2O gives rise to H12O6 plus H2O plus 6O2. So in this equation we learned that plants release oxygen. Okay, and here Robert Hill proved that oxygen is releasing from water molecule. Then we know that, but here in presence of sunlight the plants are releasing oxygen during photosynthesis. This we have to understand now. So in presence of sunlight, how the plants are releasing oxygen during photosynthesis. Now let us learn the topic. Oxygen is forming. The formation of oxygen would be use of energy, but this energy where the plants are getting, from where the plants are getting, nothing but by sunlight, photon energy. Here the plants are forming the oxygen. They have to get energy from sunlight. We know now this information, but in those days the scientists were discovered. Who discovered this one? A Dutch scientist, Jan Ingenhousz, found the answer to this one. He did some experiments for this. He took a hydrilla, an aquatic plant, and he found the answer for this. He took the plant and he did an experiment in bright sunlight, and he observed the air bubbles in water, and later he found that the gas present in the bubbles was oxygen. Okay, and also he observed that the bubbles formed, in that bubbles the gas was oxygen. And in early 20th century, the Engelmann used a strand of algae, and he exposed this strand of algae to the bright sunlight, and he used the bacteria also. He used sensitive bacteria. And he illuminated the light to the bacteria. Then the bacteria was crowded around the illuminated light. Okay, illuminated with the red and blue rays of the light, which was the bacteria. When he exposed the bacteria was crowded around the illuminated red and blue rays. Then he understood that the light sensitive bacteria and the strands of algae also need sunlight or light to produce food and to form oxygen. Here now let us learn the experiment. Oxygen is produced during photosynthesis in the presence of sunlight, performed by a Dutch scientist, Jan Ingenhousz. What is beaker. You have to make 2 sets of this experiment. 2 sets. One you have to keep in dark, one you have to keep in sunlight. 2 beakers, 2 funnels, 2 hydrilla plants, 2 test tubes. First of all, you have to take the beaker, and in the inside of the beaker you have to place one funnel. Inside the funnel keep the hydrilla plant, and on the stem of the funnel you have to invert the test tube. Okay, then again you have to add water to the beaker. Next, keep one experiment, one set in the sunlight and one set in the dark room. Now you have to observe after 3 hours, 2-3 hours. Then what will happen? After 2-3 hours, you can observe the experiment which was kept in the sunlight form bubbles inside the test tube. You can observe the bubbles, air bubbles. Then you have to slowly remove the test tube and collect the gas and test with a lightened candle or lightened matchstick. Then the matchstick can glow more. How can we say oxygen is necessary for the burning candle, burning matchstick? So the matchstick can burn more. It may give light more. So then we can confirm that the formed gas is oxygen. Okay? I think you understood clearly. Once more, let us see. You have to take here one hydrilla plant, funnel, water, beaker, test tube. Here bubbles are formed. Oxygen is there. So once more, let us see this hydrilla experiment. Nothing but oxygen is produced during photosynthesis in presence of sunlight. Okay, 2 sets you have to prepare. Arrange the apparatus as shown in this figure, and then one set you have to keep in the sunlight, one set you have to keep in the dark. After 2-3 hours, if you observe where the experiment which you kept in sunlight form air bubbles in the test tube, then you can remove the inverted test tube from the experiment, and you have to collect the gas and test. Otherwise, you can use the matchstick, lightened matchstick, and you can keep there. Then the matchstick may glow more. Then you can confirm that oxygen is formed during photosynthesis in sunlight. Okay, my dear students, we learned up to now 4 experiments. These 4 experiments you have to write in your fair notes with neat labeled diagrams. One is presence of starch in leaves. Second one is CO2 is necessary for the photosynthesis. Third one is sunlight is necessary for the photosynthesis. Fourth one is oxygen is produced during photosynthesis in presence of sunlight. 4 experiments you have to write in fair notes with neat labeled diagrams, and as well as you have to know one thing. Before writing these experiments, I will give you some instructions. First experiment is presence of starch in leaves. For this experiment, no need of writing any before matter. As it is, you can write. But here for 2 experiments, one is CO2 is necessary for the photosynthesis. Second one is sunlight is necessary for the photosynthesis. Before writing these 2 experiments, you have to compulsory write that experiment you have to do for the removing of chlorophyll in the leaves. Methylated spirit have to do to remove the chlorophyll present in the leaves. Then have to do iodine test. Starting have to keep in dark room. Last you have to write that methylated spirit experiment have to do. Then iodine test have to do. This words compulsory you have to write in 2 experiments. Which experiments? One is CO2 is necessary for the photosynthesis. Next one is sunlight